All right, man. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about Lions fans are upset that it wasn't a claim put in on Darius Slay. And they want to bring back Lincoln Tomlinson as well too. So they're upset that there wasn't there wasn't a claim by the Detroit Lions to get Darius Slay to come back. So he was waived by the Steelers and picked up by the Bills. I believe this is his last year. I think he's going to retire after this year. And a lot of Lions fans was like, well, Terrion went down, Rackstar went down. We should claim Darius Slay, bring him back. They have an offensive line problems. I believe Lincoln Tomlinson was waived. Hello, goodbye. I think he was down there in Houston or something like that. And the Lions ain't trying to get him. You got to understand they don't see this the way we see it. They don't see it. They don't have the attachment. They wasn't here in this organization when Darius Slay was here. See, a lot of times, a lot of these people having attachments to guys they've already worked for or worked around. When you start talking about Brad Holmes and Jared Goff, that was a relationship. You think Brad Holmes and Jared Goff, Brad Holmes would have brought Jared Goff to Detroit if he never worked with him in LA Rams? No. What you end up finding out when you step out in this business world, most opportunities are given to people, even if they're not qualified. They're giving to people based off of a relationship. I know him, he know me, right? It's given to them based off a relationship. Oh, it's my cousin's friend, or this is my wife's brother. It's not that you're qualified or not qualified for the position at all. A lot of these relationships are pretty much born off the simple fact that it's that's what it is. It's a no. Oh, I know him. He good for the job. That's how it is. That's why you're marketing yourself and your appearance and your reputation is so important. Is because you know what I'm saying. It's important for the simple fact, um, because that's how people get to know you. Most of the time, they don't care how fast and how well you get. They do care about it after the fact, but they go with people that they're familiar with. They go by word of mouth. That's how most positions are given, bro. I mean, from the bottom of the barrel positions, from the top of the top positions. These are how these positions. These are how these positions are done. This is how people find the employment. So, Brad Holmes probably doesn't have a connection with Darius Slay. We have a connection with Darius Slay. We like Darius Slay. We would like to see if this is his last year, finish it off in a Detroit Lions uniform. For them, it might be a scheme misfit, which we know it's not because he's a man corner, where they not looking at it. And then, Brad Holmes look at it different. He picked each individual guy to be on the team. When these guys were available, he traded for them, drafted them, picked them up. He believed in his guys, even though it's to the detriment, even though we look at him and be like, this ain't going to cut it. We look at it that way, but he look at it as in a way of, you know, he looks at it in a way of, yeah, this is going to cut it. I do like this. And I don't have, it's going to, and then when it falls down every year, it's like, okay, most of the guys that have control, that have autonomy over an organization, over a business, they don't really listen to nobody. They gonna make the decisions on themselves, and then when things don't go right, they're gonna blame everybody around them. That's what you see from a lot of leaders in America. Very arrogant and a lot of times very wrong. Don't talk to they don't talk to the employees. They don't survey. They don't talk to the coaches or talk to the people that do the job. They just make changes. They just make changes. They make these drastic changes that's like, they make these drastic changes, and you like, man, okay. They make drastic changes, and it's like, okay. When it go wrong, it's everybody else's fault. I need to do this, need that, but it was all their decision. They didn't take anybody's input in the beginning. So he doesn't have that connection to Darius. Like, he doesn't see a problem with riding out with Avante Maddox, DJ Reed, none of these guys. He don't see it like y'all see. He's like, well, a lot of these guys constantly get injured. You need the depth. He believes in all those guys that's behind him. He believes in them. So how y'all see it and how we see it and how they see it is totally different things. And they can see things that we don't see. They can see things with their private investigators and their background searches that we don't see. There can be things stopping them from doing it financially, the ownership, so it's a lot of things working. But yeah, I didn't think it was realistic that they was going to get them. I didn't think it was realistic that they don't never go do nothing that makes sense or that seems like a great fit to the fans. They never do. So ultimately, I don't understand where's the shock at. Y'all seen this fall apart coming this year. We all did. We all seen it. No adjustments on the injuries, no adjustment on how they drafting players. Real talk. Real talk. So I don't think it was realistic. But so be it, man. We'll slay the best. Buffalo, I don't know where they going, but for the Lions, I mean, you like, well, we need a quarterback, and there some people think that's extreme. Most people who know football know it's not extreme. So this era is gonna live and die off of Jared Goff and Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. It's gonna live off that. Me personally, do I think they get it done? I don't think so. Historically, it's shown. Historically, most people feel like that window is closed. It's too many transitions going on. They want offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, running backs. You transfer from Montgomery to Gibbs, and relationships are not forming between Jameson and Goff, and it's like, So I feel like the window's closed, and so be it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. So hopefully they can recover. They can make the hard decisions which they want. This is a relation. An international business, especially American business, is a relationship based. I'm telling you, your poor performance can have you survive if you had a relationship. But hey, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.